Here's another example that uses the order of operations. 17 minus brackets 12 squared divided by 3 times 2 to the third minus 4. Okay. So the order of operations, I'll write them over here. Okay, the order of operations. Order of operations. Okay. P stands for parentheses. Okay. Look for any parentheses and simplify inside them first. Next, you look for any exponents. Okay, already you can see a couple right here. There's an exponent of 3 and an exponent of 2. Next is multiply and divide. And we're going to do that from left to right, and this example will show that really well. And then after multiplying and dividing from left to right, we add and subtract from left to right. Okay, so let's look at this example real quick. Okay, we're going to use the order of operations. First, you always start at the beginning. P is for parentheses. So I'm going to look for any parentheses or grouping symbols, and I'm going to simplify it inside them first. Okay, so first we have these brackets out here that are like parentheses. They're grouping symbol. But we have here 2 to the third minus 4. That's inside parentheses. So it's nested within these larger parentheses. So we have to do the nested parentheses first. Okay? Now, we sort of have an operations going on within that because we have 2 to the third and then we have minus 4. Okay? So when I look at the order of operations, I'm going to simplify 2 to the third first, okay, which is right here, E for exponents. And then adding and subtracting comes after that, okay? So that's the first thing. The first thing I'm going to do is simplify 2 to the third. I'm going to rewrite the whole expression because we want to stay organized and not make any mistakes. 17 minus, and bear with my handwriting, I'm still getting used to using this, 12 squared divided by 3 parentheses. Now 2 to the third is 8. Okay, so I'll put 8 there and I'll explain that in just a minute. Take away 4. Okay, so that's the first step. Okay. Right, I simplified the exponents. 2 to the third, I'll do that over here. So 2 to the third means, so I'll put equals 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so we're just going to multiply from left to right. So this 2 times 2 is 4. So that means that it equals 4 times 2. Okay? And then 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so that's how we get 2 to the third is equal to 8. Okay, now in the next step, the step after this, we have to simplify 8 minus 4 because we have subtraction here. Okay, so I'm going to write 17, take away, I'm going to write the bracket again, 12 squared divided by 3, and now there's sort of an invisible multiplication sign here when the 3 is just outside of the parentheses and there's nothing written there. It means multiply. So 8 minus 4 is 4, so it really means 3 times 4. Okay. And the reason why I chose this example is because a lot of people are really tempted to multiply 3 and 4, but you don't do that yet. Okay? In fact, you don't multiply 3 and 4 at all in this example. Let's continue, and I'll show you why. We're going to go through all the steps really carefully. Okay? So going from left to right, again, starting with the order of operations, we have parentheses. They're brackets, but they're basically parentheses. Okay? They're a sort of grouping symbol, just like parentheses. So inside we have 12 squared divided by 3 times 4. Okay? And the order of operations, so I go left to right, it says to do the exponent first. So 12 squared is 144. So I'm going to write that out. I'm not going to use a calculator. 12 squared means 12 times 12. Okay? I'm going to draw a line here. Let's multiply this out. Okay? So 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? And 2 times 1 is 2. So this is just the standard algorithm for how to multiply a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. Okay, now we go over to the ones digit. To the 1, which is actually in the tens place. Sorry about that. Okay, and I'm going to put a placeholder of 0. Okay, because we're not going to have any digits in the ones place anymore. So 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1, okay? And then I'm going to add, okay? So 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. And nothing plus 1 is 1. So it's 144. I'll draw a little line right here to divide those, okay? So 12 squared is 144. So I'm going to write 17 minus 144 divided by 3 times 4. Okay? Now, like I said, people really want to multiply 3 times 4, but that's not what we're going to do here, because the order of operations tell us to do multiplication and division as they appear in order from left to right. Okay, so let's take a look at where we are right here. We have 17 minus, we're not going to deal with the 17 until we have all of this down to a number, boiled down to a single number. Okay, so 144 divided by 3 times 4. So from left to right, okay, if we're going to multiply and divide from left to right, the division comes first. So we have to divide 144 by 3 and then multiply the result by 4. So let's figure out what 144 divided by 3 is without a calculator. Okay, so we're divided by 3, so I'm going to put that on the outside here. Okay, I'm going to draw my little division symbol there, and I'm going to put 144 on the inside. Okay, so 3, how many times does 3 go into 1? It does not. So we move to 14. How many times does 3 go into 14? That would be 4 times. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and we subtract. Okay, so 14 minus 12 is 2, and we bring down the 4 here. Okay, and then we do another cycle of this. We go, okay, instead of saying how many times does 3 go into 14, now we say how many times does 3 go into 24. And it goes in exactly 8 times. And you know that because 8 times 3 is 20. Oops, I shouldn't have put that line there. Let me try to erase that. It didn't really belong there. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, so 8 times 3 is 24. I'll put a little subtraction sign because when you subtract 24 and 24, you get 0. Okay, and there are no other digits to bring down, so we're done. 3 goes into 100 144 48 times. Okay, sorry, it looks like it's kind of part of this calculation here. Okay, so now we have 17 minus, okay, and 144 divided by 3 is 48 times 4. So now we have the times 4 here. So the division did come first, okay? And now we're going to multiply 48 and 4. We're going to do this again. We're going to be brave about this. We're going to not use a calculator. So I'm going to put 4 on the bottom and 48 on the top here. It normally doesn't matter which one you put on the top and which one you do on the bottom, but usually when there's a single digit number like 4 involved, then it's usually done in the bottom. Okay. All right, so it's a little sloppy, but we're multiplying 48 and 4. We're trying to do this calculation here. So 4 times 8 is 32, okay? Well, I don't write 32. I write the 2 from 32 and then carry the 3 up here, which I'll add to what I get when I multiply 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19, okay? So now we have 192. So now we have 17 take away 192, right? And we're almost done. Okay, so when you have a number like 17 and you're going to take away a much bigger number, 192, you're going to get a negative number, okay? But unfortunately, we can't subtract 17 and 192, but we can subtract 192 and 17 and just remember to make the answer negative. So what I'm going to do here, I'll do that over here. So 192 take away 17. Here we go. Okay, again, without a calculator. I'm going to try it. Try to remove that. Okay, so now we're going to subtract, and we have to remember to make our answer negative. In fact, I'll put a negative sign right out in front there so we don't forget. Okay, so 2 take away 7, well, you can't do that. So we're going to have to borrow from the 9. So we're going to have to cross out the 9 because we're not using it anymore. We borrowed a 1 from it, so the 2 becomes a 12. Okay, we took that a 1 in the tens place, which is like getting a 10. We're adding a 10 to the 2. And that gives us 12. And this becomes 8 right here. And now things are looking pretty good for us to subtract. 12 take away 7 is 5. Okay? And 8 take away 1 is 7. And then 1 take away nothing is just 1. Okay? So there's the answer. The answer is negative 175. What a problem. Good work. We're done.